Today we're going to go over Gonzaga's motion offense to explain their success this season. They're 15-1, 7th seeded, and 1st on the West Coast, with a beautifully efficient offense ranked as the 12th best offense in the nation alongside the 9th best field goal percentage. Motion offense is offense without called plays. Instead, the offense has a set of rules to follow designed to create opportunities to put the defense into rotation and make them make a decision. If run perfectly, each decision the defense makes should expose a crack, and with the right reads, the offense can exploit these cracks, usually leading to an open shot. We'll go over each of the major actions this offense runs, what reads to make in these actions, and how to incorporate this offense into your game. Real quick, I would like to make a plug. If you like the video, I'd love it if you could subscribe. I think if you look, you'll be surprised at how new this channel is. If you really like the video, you can like and comment too, as that really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Alright, let's get started. This clip is going to go over the first rule of motion offense, which is occupy help side defenders at all times, aka never stand still. This rule helps create driving lanes, and with a well-coached team, any drive can lead to an open three. So in this first clip, you're going to see as number 23 Adam Miller passes to number 7 Tylen Grant Foster. You're going to see Adam Miller trade places with number 8 Jalen Worley. This is called an exchange, which is essential for motion offense to move around the perimeter. The point of this is to keep the defense moving, which we'll get into more later. Then, as the ball moves around, number 3 Braden Smith ends up with a clean driving gap as his defender is too late to close out, and Adam Miller's defender, number 3 Eric Daly Jr., has to help in the gap. This causes Miller to be left open in the corner for a 3. I want you to take note of how this play started because the defense wasn't set due to Gonzaga's ball movement. To follow this up, rule number 2 is that motion offense has to be able to make the extra pass. Here you'll see the same drive, kick out, close out pattern, and Gonzaga's ability to move the ball faster than the defense can follow it is what gives them a good look. Here, number 17, Mario St. Supri has a good drive in transition, which causes the defense to collapse trying to defend the drive. This leaves the shooter open in the corner. The goal of this defensive possession is to collapse on the drive and prevent paint points, which they did well, then rotate out to defend shooters, which they also did well. However, Gonzaga's players work to counter this by moving the ball around fast enough to exploit any poor closeouts, and as number 2, Steel Venters makes the extra pass, number 15, Graham Ike gets the open 3 after sprinting out to the 3-point line. Again, I want you to notice how this all starts because of Mario St. Supri's drive. This puts the defense into what's called the blender. All Gonzaga has to do is rotate the ball until it finds an open shooter. In this play, as Adam Miller passes out of the post, Kentucky's defense does a good job of closing out to Graham Ike to prevent the shot. This leads into Gonzaga running a zoom action with Braden Smith being the player receiving the ball. Because Ike's defender, number 24 Stephen Jamerson II, doesn't hedge hard in this dribble handoff, Smith is able to curl off the ball screen for a drive. If Smith's defender, number 1 Xavier Booker, went under the screens instead of over, Smith would have had an open shot. Braden Smith's drive then causes the defense to have to hedge, and what Gonzaga does to counter this is extremely creative and is also becoming more popular across the NBA and college basketball. They send the corner shooter, Jalen Worley, across the baseline and have the wing player, number 5 Emmanuel Innocenti, rotate to the corner. This leaves the hedge defender clueless to where his man went, which gives Innocenti the open 3. This weak side rotation is common for Gonzaga anytime someone drives. It also relates back to rule number 1 because it keeps help side defenders occupied. Rule number 3, showcased by this next clip, is to be able to use basic actions to force decisions by the defense. This means ball screens, pin downs, down screens, you name it. The offense must be able to create simple advantages which then build into larger ones. Here, Smith sets a down screen for Braden Huff, Gonzaga's star player, at the same time as the ball is getting reversed. Because the ball just got swung around the perimeter, there's no backside help to prevent the pass to Huff, which is exactly what rule number 1 is about, occupying the help. This forces Alabama's big to make a decision. Either switch and force 2 mismatches, one of them being Huff in the low post against a guard, or stay home and have Huff get an advantageous position in the low post. Now all the Zags have to do is let Huff go to work. In the next play, the advantage is created through a pin down. As Smith comes off the pin down, his defender is trailing and Kentucky fails to hedge to bottle up the drive. If they did hedge, Innocenti would have been open on the perimeter. This is motion offense. One screen creates an advantage, then the spacing lets you pass if the defense commits to fixing that advantage. Then, as Kentucky's big doesn't step up, Smith gets a layup. In this clip, both rules 1 and 3 are used. The advantage is created through a screen-screener action, and the help is occupied because the ball is passed to the screener's side. So as Mario St. Supri passes to Venters, Ike, who just screened for St. Supri, receives a screen from Miller. This screen-to-screener action is a go-to to get good looks around the rim, but they work best when the help defense can't prevent passing lanes to the cutting screener, which is what's done here. Another concern is that, because motion offense in college is normally played in 4-out formation, the big has to be able to fit into common actions without clogging up the paint. Here, as Smith gets a good drive from the pick and roll with Huff, Ike screens his own man to give Smith the lane to pass to a cutting Miller. This showcases how Ike is able to participate in motion offense without clogging the lanes due to his ability to clear lanes through actions like this. I want to go over a bit more about how motion offense forces switching. The easiest way to defend a screen is to switch the matchups, but, especially in college when there's so much size in the paint, switching a guard into a big is free points for the offensive team. Take this play from the Florida vs UConn game. As Florida runs the pick and roll, UConn's big jumps out to hedge. However, as number 0 Malachi Smith goes under this screen, he ends up getting dragged out, and number 12 Eric Reeby has to run back to guard number 9 Ruben Chinyelu. The other option was to switch, but then Chinyelu would have had the mismatch onto Smith. This is how motion offense forces mismatches. In this clip, as UConn runs in transition, they end up getting both the guard on big and the big on guard matchups. However, Boogie Fland does an amazing job fronting the big, which prevents the pass from being made, so Malachi Smith takes his advantage against the matchup instead. Again, mismatches are created due to a motion offense. Now I want to dive a little bit more into the defensive counters to this kind of offense. With this play by Florida, we can see multiple mistakes made on the defensive side. Xavier Lee, Florida's star player, is going to receive this pass and curl off the screen set by number 21 Alex Condon. Lee's ability to get downhill is through the roof, so UConn's number 1 priority should be getting rid of his driving gaps. Lee's momentum, however, brings him away from Condon, meaning that UConn's big can't hedge the screen. This gives Lee a wide open lane. What UConn should be doing is using their wing defender to clog this gap, but then Florida would likely rotate their corner shooter in their wing as we saw earlier. The only way to defend that would be to switch everything, going back to why motion offense creates so much switching. Another thing defenses might do is double or blitz the primary ball handler. Off this dribble handoff to Xavier Lee, UConn attempts to blitz, but that leaves 2 reads. First, if Lee sees the gap, he can split the double as he does here and create a driving lane. Second, if Lee isn't confident in splitting the double, he can pass to his big over the top and create a 4-on-3. Again, this shows how you can get easy scoring opportunities off of the simple advantages that motion offense creates. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you liked this video, I would really appreciate if you subscribed, and if you really liked this video, it'd be great if you could like and comment. It's so good for YouTube's algorithm. I've got more breakdowns on my channel, so if you want more videos like this one, feel free to check that out. Alright, have a good one, y'all.